In this video, we'll solve questions 1 to 7 from General Reading section of Book 19, Test 1. The question type is True, False, Not Given. The answers of this question type follow the same order as the information in the passage. Here's the approach we'll use. We start by scanning the question for keywords or location clues. Find the likely location of the information in the passage. Read the question carefully and look for the answer near this location. And then we move on to the next question. The heading of the passage is Gobridge Tramlink. Frequently asked questions, FAQs. FAQs or frequently asked questions are common questions people ask along with their answers. Many websites have a section for FAQs. Trams are trains that run on tracks in city streets. Tramlink is the tram service that connect different parts of a city or town. The G in Gobridge is capitalized, which shows it is name of a place. The tram service is also named after the place. There are subheadings in the passage which can help locate the answers quickly. Let's start with the first question. The city buses start operating later than the trams. The heading of the first paragraph is When do the trams run? Run in this context means when do the trams operate or at what time do they work? This is the first paragraph of the passage. The first sentence mentions the word operate, but it doesn't mention when they start in the morning. It just mentions that they operate throughout the year. The last sentence tells us that the first tram from the city center starts at 6:30 a.m. This 6:30 a.m. is half an hour after the first city bus leaves. So the first city bus does not leave after the first tram, it leaves before the first tram. So does the first city bus start after the first tram? No, it does not. It is actually the opposite. So the answer to the first question is false. Let's start with the second question now. The second question says you can get a tram from the airport to the city center up to midnight. This is where we had found the answer to the first question. The heading of the next paragraph mentions airport. So we are expecting the answer to the next question from this paragraph. Up to means until, midnight means 12 at night. To answer the question, we need to ask these two questions. Is there a tram from the airport to the city center? Yes, there is. Does the tram run until midnight? In the passage, it says until 7:30 p.m. So the tram from airport to the city center is not until midnight, it is until 7:30 p.m. Does this tram run until midnight? No, it does not. So the answer to the second question is false. Let's start with the third question. The 207 bus service stops at the main railway station. We have a number here in the question, so it's easy to locate where the answer is expected to be in the passage. This is where we had found the answer to the second question, and in the same paragraph, number 207 is mentioned. To answer this question, we have to see if the passage says that bus number 207 stops at the main railway station. From the passage, we have this information. The bus runs or operates throughout the night. It starts from the airport. It does not mention whether it stops at the railway station or not. So we don't know the answer to this question. That is, the answer to this question is not given. The fourth question says, the cost of a tram ticket varies depending on your journey. This is where we found the answer to the third question. The heading of the next paragraph mentions ticket. Meanings of some of the words from the passage are on your screen, but we'll focus on this part of the passage. Varies means changes. So, depending on how long your journey is the price of the ticket different? The passage says, check your route and make sure you buy the correct ticket price, which means there is not a single price for wherever you are going. The price depends on your route or your destination. Based on these 2 points, the answer is true. What could confuse you, however, is that the last sentence mentions an amount. But if you read this sentence, it says that the inspector cannot sell you a ticket, but you will not be obliged to, that is, you will not have to pay any fine. This amount is the amount of the fine. It has nothing to do with the ticket price. The fifth question says, bicycles are allowed on the trams between 7:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. This heading in the passage mentions bike. In English, bike can mean either a motorbike or a bicycle. In this passage, bike clearly refers to bicycles, as the words bicycles and cyclists are mentioned in the paragraph. The question is about the time when bicycles are allowed on trams. To answer the question, we have to ask, are bicycles allowed on the tram? And if they are they allowed between this time? The paragraph starts with, each tram is licensed to carry a maximum of 2 bicycles. So it is licensed to carry means it is allowed to carry 2 bicycles. There are conditions such as the driver may refuse, but that does not mean that bicycles are not allowed. So, are bicycles allowed on the tram? Yes, they are. Now we have to focus on the time. Off peak hours are when fewer people are traveling. This is the time when bicycles are allowed. So, before 7:30 a.m., between 10 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. That is between 7:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. is peak hour, and bicycles are not allowed. From this, we get that the bicycles are not allowed between this time. So, the answer to the fifth question is false. The sixth question says additional trams run during the Gobridge festival period. This is where we had found the answer to the previous question. Festivals are mentioned in the next sentence. We have the capitalized word Gobridge in the question. So the first thing we do is look for this word in the passage. Usually, whenever there is a capitalized word in the question, we find it in the passage near the location of the answer. However, in this case, the whole passage is about Gobridge town and Gobridge Tramlink. The passage mentions that bicycles may not be allowed during festivals, etc., because trams carry extra passengers. There is actually no specific mention of Gobridge festival and no mention of any extra trams during any festivals. So, because this information is not given, or because we do not know the answers to these questions, the answer to the sixth question is not given. If the passage had a sentence like this, festivals and other large events especially the festival named after the city, often require additional tram services, the answer would be true even without naming the Gobridge festival. Moving on to the seventh question. Cyclists may be asked to leave if they block the exit. This is where we had found the answer to the previous question. Let's start from the next sentence. The next sentence mentions that the entrance or exit should not be obstructed or should not be blocked. To answer the question, we need to ask, does the passage talk about cyclists blocking the exit? Yes, it does. Does it mention whether they will be asked to leave if they block the exit? This information is not given. We just have an instruction that once the cyclists are on the tram, the riders or the cyclists should remain with their bicycles and they should make sure that they do not block the exit. What will happen if they block the exit is not given. So, will they be asked to leave? We don't know. So, the answer to the seventh question is not given. One reason for confusion could be that the first sentence of the same paragraph mentions drivers may refuse to allow cyclists to get on if the tram is crowded. This is about refusing entry when the tram is crowded or when there are too many people on the tram. It is not about blocking the exit or what happens if the exit is blocked. With this, we are done with the first 7 questions of this reading test. We'll continue solving the reading test in the next video. I hope you found this video useful. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us reach more people. All the very best.